they actually were able to do something that never did before in the history of our 34 counts of um, um, hmm, 34 counts of something, and I think maybe lying or hiding business records or something. But for the most part, though, whatever it is, it's one of the things where it's most likely gonna I think what's gonna happen is that it's gonna get appealed. This whole thing is gonna get appealed, and it's gonna be overturned, and I think it's gonna go to Supreme Court. I think he's gonna become president again because what happens is that through the world, which is that they were able to politician now. And not only that, they found a politician guilty. Now, the thing is, with most politicians, as long as you're not a certain, like, brand or something, happens that if you're a certain brand of politician, you get away with stuff. And other words, returning for that, and that was really cool. So for me and my part, I don't know, I was kind of like not interested in voting for anybody this year because I've kind of like gone through this whole scenario where I've seen that I remember when Bush was running and I was like 4 more years for him and I realized how bad that was. And then later it was like all different things. But long story short, him being indicted is going to turn the tides for a lot of things. So those of you who are going to go vote this year, I'm not sure if I'm going to vote. All my candidates have let me down, but for the most part, though, I just want to know that everybody's going to vote. Let me know what you guys think about the situation with that and regarding the whole thing with the indictments and stuff like that. I'm going to work on some sculpture, so please just kind of feel free to talk with me in the chat. I'm going to activate the chat so you actually can talk and say things to me, like, like, hey, how you doing? But for the most part, though, I'll just make some sculpture and chat to you. This is where I talk about the tough stuff. Mask on. This is really hard to breathe. It's because you made a mask today, of course. Well, this part's like a little bit of cardboard. That's the one part that goes on top of that, and then it happens. So this is like a hypoxia mask, and it's pretty cool. I like it. I think it's cool. During the pandemic, this was a mask I was wearing, pretty much. And it's not really much of a mask, is it? So anyway, what I want to say is that I'm just go ahead and start sculpting. So I started working on a project, right? And so the project is pretty much some different things here and there. And one of them is the Hello Kitty. Another one is Gamma. I was working on Gamma. I might just do a little bit more Gamma sculpting. It's like pretty much the paid commission, so that's pretty cool. Of course, I wasn't able to ship anything today, but I'm gonna hopefully be able to ship tomorrow. And so this is what we do. We're gonna work on some Gamma right here and talk about some stuff. So definitely feel free to talk to me in the chat below. Camera live again. So anyways, I'm gonna be here. It's the same green screen. It's pretty cool. So you can actually use the green screen for a lot. It's the same green screen. It's pretty cool. So you can actually use the green screen for a lot of things. So I'm going to work on Gamma and talk to you in the meantime. Ladies and gentlemen, what are your thoughts about today's endeavor and the things that are going to happen today? I am just happy to be here, and I did a day of working today. So if you see one of my other videos, I did an actual roadie order today. I did about 3 roadie orders today. And incidentally, when that was, it's like, tell me you guys if it's better if you guys can hear me clearly with this mask on, or should I take it off and just be free and let my jaw really extend so I can actually talk properly, because right now it's kind of difficult to speak. That's why it's called hypoxia mask. It's like my Halo mask. Hello everyone, this is Gregory. So anyway, so I am just like pretty much just here. I'm just happy. So anyway, so what happens like when I found out about this situation, okay, this really affect me. Like, I mean, I understand what it means, like, because it was like this. I was upset with him because of the things that happened during the lockdown. Okay, a lot of those things, because what happened at the time in terms of our year, we were actually good money and the opportunity to make some good cash and stuff like that, and it was like going well. If anything, I was rising up the company I'm working with, getting better and better at it. And then what happened was, like, when this thing happened with the pandemic, it just totally changed a lot of people's lives, and some for the worse, some for the better. But I started doing more of my mask. I'm gonna take this mask off because it makes my face all sweaty. So I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna remove this thing here. Oh goodness. Woo. All right. So what I'm gonna take this mask off. Help me take this mask off. Let me look on you with my own eyes. All right. So there you have it. So I'm gonna just have like this under my hair, nice and under my hat. Yeah, this is much a little better. We've been watching the show Monk, and that show is amazing. I'm gonna make a video about it sometime soon when we get done watching the series. We're up to season 8. If you ever get a chance to watch the Monk series, please, it's pretty interesting. I didn't know how good it was, actually. We were like, what happened was like somebody had a swap meeting type thing. One of the co-ops that we were going to, they had the whole series, right? And I was like, okay, you know what? I remember watching a little bit of. I didn't ever watch any episodes of it. This is the first time I saw it. Was the first time I saw it when we started watching it, and it was like one of those things where my my family and I, we like watching like whole series together, but not like how Netflix kind of thing, because we don't have Netflix. But we had like a thing where we'd actually watch like a video, and we'd watch a lot of videos and also for the extra features, and so that was always cool. So we started watching like Monk. When we got it at the co-op. We had a thing. You pay some money and you're able to switch out or swap some stuff for some stuff, and it's also like a thrift shop kind of a thing. So it had the entire 8th season there as a one collector's disc. I'd bring it to you, but I don't want to like leave the area and then come back. But for the most part though, it's like what happened was like my situation was that we started watching this thing, and it has been very, very good movie. Very good movie. We watch like about 4 episodes every night. We watch them for a couple of weeks now, and not every night, but every other night, because we have like different days to schedule for the kids to watch movies, as well as for the kids to to enjoy things. So we don't like have the kids like constantly on electronics and stuff. My wife's really good with that, by the way. She's really good at that. That's like what she does a real good job with, in terms of like guarding the electronics and making sure the kids aren't always on it. Because that's something that kids need to have childhoods, and kids need to go out and do stuff, and need to go explore. And the electronics have robbed our childhood from that. That's one of those things, So for the most part, though, when we were watching that, we watched a really good episode last night of Monk, and we watched, and I was just blown away by that. I'm not even sure if that's the last episode, because there's the 8th disc, right, and the 3rd disc on the 8th season. It seems like they wrapped it up on the last one. I can't tell you the name of it, but the next one, I'm not sure if the next one is the finale, and we like watching all the extra features on it, because when you watch the extra features, you learn the mindset of the people and why they decide to make this, and how they interact with each other. Those of you who have seen it, I can't really spoil anything. All I can say is that he's an OCD detective, and that he has obsessive compulsive disorder, and it's like which means like he's really sensitive about certain things, right? So he's really sensitive about things and how things work, and being certain places and certain things, and fears and phobias and all that stuff. And it's such a wild ride. It's such a wild ride. It's like, at first we had just finished watching Burn Notice, right? And if you guys have watched this series of Burn Notice, right? Well, what happens, like, I work the days, right? I work the days, and then sometimes when I was doing DoorDash before, I was working the nights, and as I was working the nights, I was able to, like, I'd take my kids with me, my older kids, and we'd go riding and talking and watching Ancient Aliens and stuff like that. So we'd be watching that while I'm driving and listening to all these stuff, So my wife and kids would be like, different people would come and watch different things as we were driving. So, for example, I'd have one day where I'd drive with my wife, and we'd drive DoorDash, and then I'd have it with my son, and then I'd have it with my 2 daughters, and then we'd just drive and go all over the city. And that's when DoorDash was really good. It was really good time. We'd go and do that. And then so what happens was, like, when I'd get home, we'd have like a kid, we'd have movie night with the children, and then we also have movie nights sometimes on the weekend, and we'd pick a movie and we'd all watch it together, and then we'd like talk about it, like have a conversation about it, like families, because when I was growing up, what happens, like, I always loved it when I was telling my wife about how when my dad would make these cool sounds watching a movie, he'd be like, woo, he's like, woo, we'd be like, he'd be like, we're like, and that would just make us laugh so much, because his reaction was so fun. So when I have my kids now, we'd watch a movie, and we'd have the reactions, and we'd just talk about it later. And sometimes we just break into conversation about that. We'd mention or reference a movie, and we'd be like, well, what do you think about this? And like, this is so cool. And then, so that's what I was saying when we talked about this whole thing with Monk, when we talked about the Monk show, the movie, the Monk, Adrian Monk. It's one of those things where it's going to be like, kind of interesting, because we have so much to talk about on that. There's so much dynamic, so many things he was afraid of, so many phobias he had. And for the most part, though, I was just and I was blessed to be able to see this, because it actually became one of those stories that, the more you watch, the better it got. And then, so now we're at the final season, and I don't want to watch the last couple episodes, because, when you get to the end of a season, right, you have this thing where you want to get to the end of it because you want to see what the last episode is going to be like. And most times, like, for example, you're watching like Serenity or Firefly and all that, and there is no real ending. You just kind of ended it, but then they made the Serenity movie to end it. If you guys haven't seen it, it's a Joss Whedon movie, and he made the movie Firefly and all that stuff. The TV show Firefly, and then became the last one was Serenity. Right? Serenity was kind of the wrap up of the Firefly series, and it was only 9 out of however he wanted. His show got canceled, right? Never got a chance to finish. But in the event of Burn Notice, when we watched Burn Notice, it actually ended very well. I thought it was a great ending for Burn Notice. I thought it was a really good ending. I thought it did a good job. And one of those things that I think about was like was just about like how in this one here, watching Monk, it is such a thing, because he's kind of getting through and overcoming stuff as it progresses. You know, I can't tell you the circumstances of what happened why he became this way, but it's like a Batman type thing. You know, a situation happened in his life and it became like a Batman. You know, and there's another thing too about Batman, by the way. Just switch subject real quick. It was like I remember watching the Adam West Batman, right, growing up as a kid. And I thought that was the greatest thing in the whole world. I really did. I loved it. I watched it. That kind of like he was always trying his best to. I never understood the dynamic, like what made him become Batman. I never cared about that. I just enjoyed the fact that he was able to go out there, him and his bat shark repellent and his bat helicopter and he had a connection to the commissioner. And the commissioner would always help him to know what it is. And the captain of the police would be like there to kind of like direct him to where he needs to go. Anyway, long story short, I thought that was really good. The show was, and they'd always have different things. Same bad time, same bad channel, and I'd run to see that when I came home from school, looking forward to that. And we watched Thundercats and Transformers and all those wonderful things. And that was like back in the '80s, man. '80s was great. And then nobody really knew what they were in the '80s, and so when they made a show, they weren't sure what it was, but they were trying to sell toys. That's what they were trying to do, sell toys back in the '80s. So that's what they did, and so eventually you end up having toys that were dangerous, and plastic and lead and all that stuff. But for the most part, that was good. It was good stuff, good wholesome TV, because they always had a moral. One of the things they had to show was they had morals. This is what they do, and they show you that when they did this, it actually talked to you, make sure you emphasize and understood it's important to take care of each other. And I like that about He-Man. That was one of my things about He-Man I completely liked. So back to the Batman thing. When you have the thing with regarding the first time I saw like the scary Batman, which is the Michael Keaton Batman 1989, that one blew my mind because I didn't expect it to be such a thing. Now you wonder why I'm talking about this and why I could be talking about Trump and all that stuff. I don't know. I just want to talk about this something different for a little bit. I enjoy the art that I do and I enjoy making the art. And right now I'm just kind of working on Gamera. I have the other creature that I was working on, but I'm going to do some more work on that, and eventually you're not going to see it because it's going to go to, it's going to disappear. So for the most part, though, you have that where this is like Gamera with no fingers yet. Give him some fingers. Gamera has 5 fingers, unlike most of my Diplocaulus. So this is like, for example, here's Pearl. Pearl has 4 fingers. You look at Pearl, she has 4 fingers, right? And he has 4 toes, right? 4 fingers, 4 toes. And she's like, hello, I'm Pearl, Roadie Warrior. That's what she said. Pearl, Roadie Warrior. And then you have my boy Deli, which he's pretty much everywhere. So Deli, and he's there, and he also has 4 fingers. She has 4 fingers. She has 4 fingers, and he has 4 toes. So when you have like Gamera has 5 fingers and 5 toes. So he's like a turtle because turtles have 5 fingers and 5 toes, and that's pretty cool. So he's like the ultimate Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle. Because how old is Gamera really? And he's from Japan too. Okay, so anyway, so I guess that could be something. Maybe they have a smaller version that, like, maybe it'd be kind of cool that a crossover, right? But so anyway, so here in the city, it was a day of driving. I drove Rhodey today, and I went to. Oh, I was gonna tell you about that too. By the way, I was gonna tell you about that. What happened was, like, in Rhodey, was that today was I decided to take short routes and to wait out the situation I was talking to you about yesterday, because yesterday's situation was about like how. So you got 3 fingers here. The other situation was that when you had, I went out and did the thing, I still haven't gotten a response back from them as yet. I mean, I got a response back, but I haven't gotten any resolution from them as yet. My resolution was that they would actually accomplish the 12 things that I said I was going to do, and I did the 12 deliveries. So they're still owing me like $5 from the first delivery. Plus, I was mentioning before yesterday when I was kind of talking yesterday about everything, I said that, when you cross a bridge, they don't instantaneously for your bridge. They make you do this rigmarole where you have to kind of like paperwork documentations, and then you have to go ahead and do not only documentation, you have to go ahead and send your receipts, copy receipts, send up. And then when you have something like Easy Pass, like I have Easy Pass, and majority of us who live in a city have Easy Pass. Why? Because all the new congestion pricing that's going to happen, they're going to be taken from our Easy Pass. And it's also cheaper because when you go through the bridges, instead of sending you the mail, they penalize you really for having no Easy Pass. So if you go there and you don't do it, they'll send you a bill in the mail and be like, yo, by the way, you owe us one of your arms and one of your legs, one of your arms, and one of your legs, you owe us. Okay, that's how it is with it regarding the. And I don't understand the whole thing about the tolls. I have my animation with the flying Diplocaulus and the in the extreme flying car, and he's going through commission. He's going through the congestion city, and it's all these tolls. We've already paid for these streets. We've paid for these streets. We continue to pay for these streets. We pay for these streets with our gas tax. We pay for these streets. So I'm saying, anybody who becomes president, they need to take care of the tax situation and stop taxing the people. Like, seriously, no more taxing the people. Do you guys print money? You don't need to tax us. So what happens, like, you have this scenario, so you got 4 fingers now. So when you have this situation, you got 3 fingers in this hand, 4 fingers in this one. So what happens is, like, they should really stop. Let me see if anybody's wrote anything to me. Oh, someone said, "Hey, sup, bro? Sup, bro? Hi, how you doing?" Because what happens, I have this thing here that's in the way, and so привет, спасибо. Okay, so you have different things like that. You have these things where the most part is that I'm just kind of like trying to make this. But what I'm saying is that we pay for the roads and gas tax. We pay for the roads. We've already paid for the roads, and then people, they get money from the city. And so what happens when a person sues the city? By the way, they're suing the taxpayers. They say, "Oh, it's a special fund." No. When you want to sue somebody, like sue an official, you got to sue their bond. Okay, there's a thing they have called a bond. Each one of them has a bond attached to them. So if you want to sue like the governor or something, you go after their bond. Okay, they have a thing that protects them from lawsuit. That's what you have to sue. Don't sue the city. The city is made of the people and the people's money, right? And it's like they can't print more city money. So the thing is, they can print more federal money, and that's what they do. That's what they do. So yeah, so what happens is that you're faced with this in a situation where you got 5 fingers now. So we have that thing where, for the most part, though, what I'm trying to say is, like, they shouldn't be taxing. So whoever you vote for should be able to take care and knock out our taxes, because we pay as Americans too much in taxes. I mean, we talk about the revolution and how the revolution was based on 2% tax on tea, and it was kind of building up to that, and they finally said enough. Here we are. We are taxed so much, and it really is. It was horrible. So watching this indictment thing happen today, I didn't really watch it. I just kind of heard about it. I listen to the radio as I'm driving, doing my deliveries and stuff, because you know what, you got to work, and as you're working, you kind of listen to the radio sometimes, just trying to get ideas of what you want to talk about later tonight. And I can't really sculpt while I'm driving, because you need 2 hands. I mean, I tried, but how many things do you want me to do at the same time, right? I mean, come on. It's like driving and making content, and then trying to sculpt, and trying to take a next order, and then having to worry about how to get it across the bridge without the tolls, right? How many things like I'm supposed to do at this point, right? So many things you want to do. So I can't do all these things. I have to just pretty much do 1 at a time or 2 at a time or something like that. So when I'm driving, I get a chance to listen to radio, listen to them, and I was just thinking, whoever president comes in, they need to like do what's right, and they need to like really take care of people. Now, whatever side of the political fence you are, honestly, they're all in it, and they don't care about like they should. They really don't. They're all about themselves. They're kind of protected, and I really think each and every one of them should be like fired. I think they all should be fired, every one of them, and the bureaucrats too. All the bureaucrats should be gone, including the FBI and the CIA and all that stuff. Everybody gone. Just start fresh, start new, and what they do is should make a term, so nobody has more than a 2-year term. In anything, everybody has a 2-year term, which means that any damage they have can be undone in the next 2 years. Because what happens, you have people who are lifelong whatevers, and they just in there doing their damage. And now I have 5 fingers on this hand, so 5 fingers and 5 fingers on the hand too. So boom, boom, right? So next, I'm gonna just continue to fill him up, because right now he's super thin. See, then he is. That's not good. He's really under malnourished. So definitely to fill him up, make sure he's all filled. Give us some thumbs up in the chat. We'd like that. Let you know that he needs to get more like fatter and fatter. And the only way to get fatter is for him to get more money, and to more money is to buy more tape, and to buy more tape is that he can be fattened up. By the way, my daughter's graduation is this weekend, so we're looking forward to. That's going to be great. So yeah, so she's graduating from our homeschool academy, called the Valentine Mutant Academy. Yes. So anyway, so that's what I call it. For the most part, though, you have this thing here. Next one is I also have on the 15th. I'll be doing like I'll be teaching masking tape art at Lewis Latimer House. So if you want to come and learn for free, that's on the 15th of June. June 15th. Please come and see. It's a Saturday. It's at Lewis Latimer House. And if you want to like send any chats or any super chats or anything like that, you want to send some money, you can do that. I have my Cash App. You can do it that way. You can send me a super chat if you'd like, and let me know how much you loved me performing for you every other night, and share with you some of this cool art. I'm gonna make some toes for him real quick. Right now he has just like the 2 toes. He's like a Ninja Turtle. Turtles have like 2 toes, but I'm gonna go ahead and just make him have more toes. Now, see, I'm not sure exactly what you see, because I have to hold the camera kind of funny, right? Because the camera is being held by one of these tape rolls, right? It's right there, and it's on top of my 3D printer. So I have a 3D printer, and I'm kind of looking up to you, right? And so that's kind of help my posture. You say whenever you have something, you put the screen up higher, so you sit up right, and you balance your posture, so your posture is better, as opposed to it being like you're just kind of looking down and slouching. Because hold your shoulders back and be mighty. That's right. Be mighty. We are mighty. So that's what we do. So for the most part, though, yeah. So back to the thing with Monk. Monk is a great thing to watch. He's kind of like Batman. Really cool. If you get a chance to watch, watch it, please do because it's fun. I don't know the last episode, so I don't know how it ends, but we'll see. Um, there are several characters that you really fall in love with, and you're glad they're there for almost the entire show. Some people disappear and never see them again. Some people come back, and that's cool. And then the one of my favorites is the 100th episode. That's one of my favorite episodes to watch. It's the 100th episode. And also, let's see what else. And then, so the thing with Batman, the animated series was one that I saw in 1992, and that one I really liked. That Batman, it was just like I just came off from watching the Batman and Batman Batman Returns Part 2. Like he never even left. I mean, where did he go? Never explained what happened to Vicky Vale. But anyway, so. And when I guess he returns, Batman Returns Part 2, and he has to go fight Catwoman. And then I guess she leaves again, but then you never know what happens after that. And I never saw the new things with I never saw the new things. Let me check real quick. What are people saying? What did the guy say? Just gonna hold this for a second. Sorry about that, everybody. Oh, I don't know. This message review. I don't know what it says. I'm just gonna put it back there and be like, wow, you have a lot of stuff in your kitchen, folks. Please help with a like, thumbs up. Okay. Anyway, so most part of I'm gonna finish these feet real quick, but for the most part though, so yes, when I saw the situation happen today, I was just like, okay, this is gonna be weird. I hope they don't people don't start rioting and going crazy. That's what I was hoping for. Cat Wallace says hi, bro. Says hello. How are you? Yeah. So then pretty much hi, bro, to you too. And so I am just like so I got 3 toes, right? So you got 3 toes on each feet. I'm gonna go ahead and make a couple more toes, then see if I can make him stand up. Bend your knees, bend at your knees, bend at your knees, right? So you have that, bend at your knees. I work on him upside down because I'm kind of like, oh, my shoulders and my back. Imagine that you have a long day and you just have to come back and I enjoy making videos. It's really cool. I gotta do some more editing on my videos. I have some more stuff where I can actually just do more animation and things. But just of late, I have been just so busy. I know you didn't come here to hear how busy I am, but come to see me do some art. So I'm just doing art and just making some stuff in the meantime. So yeah. So for the most part though, that's where it's at. The day was good. The driving. When I watched the animated series, I like the animated series a lot. We watched it again with my kids one time, and then we watched it again the second time. It didn't hit the second time as well as it did the first time. I mean, the first time I don't know, something about it. I keep talking about Batman and how much he's really a criminal, but for the most part, I mean, it's just not. It's a fictional character. What can I say? It's a fictional character. He's not. And you say if we were to actually have our bodies like that, we'd be really messed up because if you get punched a couple times in your stomach, those things don't work so well, anymore. He'd have a hard time eating, and if you don't have a hard time eating, you're gonna have a bypass of sorts, and that's a lot of math there to have to think about how to figure out how to eat. It's like RoboCop. How does RoboCop eat? He's just just some brains, brains in the face. But for the most part though, that's poor Murphy. That's another thing there. I remember the first time I saw that movie, somebody from elementary school said, "Oh, that was a fun movie to watch," and I sat there watching my family, and it's an R-rated movie, and we've seen so many. I was like, "Oh my word, this movie's horrible." I mean, later I learned to appreciate it, but when I was a kid, that was just no. I mean, you see the movie when you're I forget how old I was. It was almost 10, 8, 9, 10, and I saw the movie, and it was so violent. Oh my god, I'd never seen something so violent in my life at that point. But anyway, so yeah, so for the most part though, yeah, I was growing up watching a lot of Godzilla. I was always into Godzilla and Ebra and Godzilla versus Titanus and Godzilla, Titanosaurus, and then fighting all the space monsters and Mothra. I always had that. And I was just that was one of those things. They spent 20 minutes just singing that song, and you're just like, man, they just know how to eat up time. I would watch that every Saturday after school. Because school would be on the weekend, but every Saturday morning cartoons, we'd watch some. They'd have the Smurfs, and we'd have they'd have Scooby-Doo's on Saturday morning. We'd have what is that, Muppet Babies. Muppet Babies, I remember we used to watch that a lot. That was great, Muppet Babies. They had all the tie-ins. That's when it started tying other things to other things with Muppet Babies. And they had the Jim Henson and stuff like that. He was really cool, man. I like Jim Henson. So I like them. I learned a lot about him later because there's actually a place in Manhattan, in New York here, called the the Museum of the Moving Image, right? And they have a whole wing. I'm not sure if they still have it, but dedicated to Jim Henson. They go through the different stuff, including like the Dark Crystal. They have stuff with like the Labyrinth. They have all the different things. They have memorabilia, imagery, pictures, puppets, and they also have like some of the different movies, right? The different movies that you have. And so, um, and so what happens was like you have it where the thing is when you see those things, right? So you got 5 toes on each feet, 5 fingers in each hand. All he needs to do is you fill that into getting some eyeballs for him, because now he's gonna be the new Gamera to replace the old Gamera that I sold. Yeah, by the way, if you ever want me to make one of these for you, let me know. I have my Instagram is One Life Must Art. You can find a lot of my Instagram stuff on things I do on Instagram. Definitely follow me there, and you can write a message to me, and pretty much I can get a sculpture out to you in about a week or less, and so pretty much a week or more. And what I do, I can sculpt anything. So yeah, but family friendly stuff, please. I don't want to sculpt anything that's really not good and or that's something I'm going to regret. Especially not a politician. Now I know there's opportunity right here to be able to sculpt something like a Trump, right, or a Biden, and or a Kamala Harris, and to take them things and throw it in the burning bin, right? See if these are like voodoo dolls, right, and see if it works. But no, I don't do that. I only make good things, my friend. I don't make any voodoo dolls. So if you're definitely interested in seeing me make something like that, one time I made something like this and I threw it into like a bonfire, and it made me feel so bad. I felt like I was thrown into judgment, like into the hellfire or something, and it made me feel bad because I went through all the effort of making something and then having to throw it into the fire, and it wasn't, he didn't do anything. He didn't do anything. But like like when the Bible talks about that, like hell and stuff, it's about it's for the devil and his angels. It was actually created for super evil beings, and so that's why Jesus died, because he wanted us not to go there. He died for our place. He died against our sins, and he died so we can like have eternal life. And that's what's the good thing about it. But if we choose not to do that, then we have the the side with the devil, and we become God's rivals for all eternity. And that's scary. So anyway, that's a big thing, and that's a very scary thing. And so the thing is, like, so today I'm here in the city, and praise God. I'm here in Queens, outside the city, and I guess we'll find out tomorrow exactly what's going to happen regarding people and what they're going to happen and the fallout of all this, because usually how it works, right? It's like whenever like something happens to people, like real people, it's mentioned and forgotten, right? When things happen to celebrities, these celebrity politicians who are supposed to be the people's servants, they're supposed to do a lot of things. What happens is that, depending on the crowd, if it's like a story that could be potentially not accepted, the news doesn't listen to it. Now I gotta listen to different news sources. I listen to a lot of conservative radio, and I listen to a lot of like 710 and all that. I'm driving and stuff. I listen to a lot of conservative radio, and then I listen to also to the other side, right? The other side, which is non-conservative radio, just so I could get a perspective, understanding both sides where they're coming from. And what I don't understand is that the law's not really applied equally. Honestly, it's not, and really it should be, because what happens when it does, things like, for example, our taxes get better and lower because people are not concerned about the fact that our taxes are so rocket high. So okay, so he's got his face, he's got his hands, his neck, right? His neck, I think his neck is perfect. It can hold up a lot of weight, but his shell is so super thin. I gotta bulk him out. So you gotta give him like that much more shell in the front, that much more shell in the front. So see, like, you can actually see how much he needs. Like, he's like that much more. So I'm gonna see if I'm gonna bulk him out like this way. That maybe I just take some stuff and just pop him, fill him up inside. But I can't really, because once the tape kind of sticks to itself, it doesn't come off. So you have that, the fingers. So you have to make the fingers, and then next is the painting. And it really comes alive when you have the paint. Let me see what's said in the chat. If there's anything, it says nothing else. It says hidden. Well, so people come and just say a thing on my thing. No, they should say good things. Why don't you come say good things? Anyway, so most part of that, folks, it's like right here. It's the time is now 11:20. My thoughts on the whole thing is that I think this whole trial was a sham, and they shouldn't have done their. Wasted all the taxpayer money and time to do something that really doesn't matter at the end of the day for the majority of people, because what happens is, like, what a person does is really their business between them and God and their people who are involved. But it's like what matters for the country. Like, if something a person does, like you have trade secrets or something, and affects the whole country, that's something that should be put on trial and seriously sought out. But a person doing a thing, it really doesn't, like, in terms of like how it works out, they're really like they're not doing a good job regarding like justice and laws and stuff. They're actually just playing. They're doing a witch hunt. They're doing a witch hunt on Mr. Trump, because what happens is that they are trying to find something, and you know how it doesn't stick. No matter what they try to do, they try to impeach him like what 3 times, and after that they try to all the different things. They try to throw dirt and it doesn't stick. You know, try to say that he comments or he's making fun of this person or that. And honestly, you know, the other guy, Mr. Biden, he also has done stuff like that, but they don't seem to, you know, think about that. So I don't. When I look at that, I say to myself, it's like, that's not fair, because, you know, everybody has, you know, stuff in their closets and things that they've done that they're really not proud of, or things they've done. And so maybe he was just trying to do this money thing to keep his wife from knowing about it. You know, kind of like deal with it and say, I don't want this to hurt my wife's heart or something. And, you know, out of like, you know, out of fear for, you know, damaging. I mean, what's his 3rd marriage, right? Didn't want to have his marriage come to an end on a technicality or something stupid he did in the past, you know. Anyway, long story short, it's one of those things where you start thinking that maybe this person is a person and he has personal issues, just like Joe Biden's a person, just like Kamala Harris is a person, but they're caught up in this game of influence, right? And this influence game is very, very dangerous, because what happens is that you drop this mess. What happens is that when you get involved in like the personality game or the personality cult, what happens is like there's influence to be had, and you can direct the lives of people. So these people are playing like marbles with like very big important things, you know. Now, I mean, everybody gets a shot, everybody gets a chance to do their thing, and they get to prove what they can do, what they can't do. And so I'm just looking at this and saying, I hope that whoever gets the presidency next will do a better job for the people, because it's not really the president that's the job anyway. It's actually the Congress. When you think about it, it's the Congress and administration, because the Congress is the one that actually makes things happen. It's not the president. The president is just a figurehead. He's the one that's supposed to go to talk to other nations and make deals to protect us. That's what the job of the president is. What the job of the Congress is to make laws for us. Just the laws of the job of the judicial branch. They're supposed to like balance and to make sense things, whether they're close to the Constitution or not. And they're not supposed to be messing with us. But this country has become like a lot of things, and one of the things is it's become a banker's paradise. You know, like the Amish paradise or the gangster paradise. It's become like a banker's paradise. And so it's like, you want to get rich just buying and selling the souls of people. It's like, that's kind of what's at. You know, if they could make money, print money, get money from the Federal Reserve, then they can very easily, just and print it, and they give the taxpayers the bill. I used to think the Federal Reserve was actually a government institute, but it's not. It's actually a private entity owned by, it's like a private bank. So imagine having a private entity be in charge of all of a nation's money. I mean, just think about that. If you had like your local drug dealer or your local bodega, right? It's the same thing, but saying the bodega, they decide to be in charge of the whole neighborhood, like the mayor's fund, you know, like a private company owns the city, you know. That in of itself is something we need to really kind of look into. I know they said that JFK was looking into that, and he got pew-pewed. One like pew-pewed, there's 3 pew-pews, right? And so what happened? They're saying that with him, he tried to stop it. He tried to bring attention, and anyone who brings attention to that dreaded thing, he sleeps with the fishes, right? They call that sleeps with the fishes. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna try and make this shell a bit bigger. So I'm gonna actually bolt it out in the front. I'm about to run out of tape here. I'm almost to the end of my tape roll. So anyway, so I gotta work on this Hello Kitty. So I'm gonna give him more of a forward archy, stomachy looking thing like this, right? So I'm gonna give him like this. So he has like more of a mass in the front, right? Like that. I'm gonna go ahead and bridge it, and with the bridge, I'm gonna bridge it so that you can actually attach more weight to it. And I'm gonna run out of tape, and I did run out of tape. He's out of tape, folks. Whatever will he do? Well, I have some more tape, but I'm gonna have to just use some of my not so good tape to just kind of fill up his insides. And so that's what I'm gonna do, because he's all tape. I'm made of tape. See eye sockets right there? I'm gonna put some eyes in him. I don't remember what color Gamera's eyes. I think his eyes are white, but I got some green eyes over here. Some green resin eyes. Let's give him some eyeballs right now, shall we? Let's give him some green boogie eyes. So I'm gonna pop this off right here, I'm gonna put this in there so that way he has some eyes. So he has like a frame reference when you look at him. You're like, oh goodness, Gamma got some eyes. I'll pop this one off too. Boom, and that. There's that one. So what I can do is I'm just gonna put that there. So I'm gonna show you what he looks like with eyes. All right, so here he comes. Here's a big reveal. He's like, hello folks, I've got eyes now. So he's got eyes, and I can see. You know, the thing is like, I remember just growing up optimistic and I wanted to be so many things, and I still do. Excuse me for a second. I'm gonna keep talking. I'm gonna get some more tape right back. My knees. So yeah. So when I was a kid, I wanted to be so many things, and I still do. Because they say you don't have to be one thing. You can be many things. And if you choose to be many things, you have many outcomes. They have this thing, the phrase, jack of all trades and master of none, but still often better than a master of one. So which means that it's better to know many things. It's better to do many things. It's better to know many things. Because at the end of the day, knowing many things beats someone who knows just one thing. You know, for example, you know one chess move. You know how to play chess, but you have to learn how to play different ways. That's kind of how life is. So here's my next, I think it's like my second last roll of tape. I gotta get some more tape. So yes, once again. Okay, so yeah. I have inside where nobody sees it, and it's still tape. This is tape. This tape is it's not the best tape. What the tape I use is contractor grade tape. I use a high quality contractor grade tape for everybody that I make. So every creature that I form has a high contract high grade tape. The stuff that you get when you go to the hardware store, you get to make really cool things. I could just show you. This one here is my ichthyosaurus, which is my fish lizard. Fish lizard, which is not really dance from like a fish lizard. So there goes ichthyosaurus, and there he has it, right, with his eyes, bug-out eyes. I might actually make it sink into his head some more because maybe he blinked. Who knows? Maybe he did blink. Maybe he didn't blink. You know, but for the most part, I guess most scientists probably know that whether ichthyosaurus blink. But here we go. So here, got some more mass in his belly. I can't wait till when he's kind of just full and done. Because I like when they're done. I like when these things are complete and they just sit there and they sit there forever. Okay, they're not like one of those balloons. You know, I used to do balloon animals, by the way. I mean, why not? Jack of all trades, right? And the balloon animals, I didn't like the fact that they popped. And when they popped, it was one of those things that I hate it because you just did all that work and now it's gone. But these guys stay forever. They don't really, you know, they just kind of, if you don't treat them right, they get like messed up. But they're still like, it's still stocky. Depends on the intensity of it all. But for the most part though, so here he's starting to fatten up a little bit. There's his stomach. I'm going to make his stomach just a little bit more. Right, and I'm going to cover it with the other tape so that way the interior has a different set of tape. But that's just a little bit of interior. It's not really a tremendous amount, but it's enough just to kind of, you know, make sure that it's, you know, he's more bulky. All right. Let's see. So then, all right, cool. And then Gamma has like the cool eyelashes and eyebrows. So let's see. I gotta just bend your eyes a little bit. I gotta poke your eyes out real quick. Put it back in. All right, there you have it. Oh, look at this. Make sure it's all facing the same direction. There it goes. The little eye. What do they call that thing in the eyeball? I guess reflection, right? Reflection of the eyes. So you have that reflection, you know, in his eyes. And it's like, so that's where I put it. It's like a fake reflection or fake highlight. It's like the hot spot. Oh, hot spot. It's a hot spot, yeah. I was thinking like a reflection. It's a hot spot. And so here's that. I gotta angle his eyes down a little bit. You know, there's a place we used to go to. I was just thinking about it right now. We'd go swimming. We do this thing called a staycation, right? My family and I. When we'd get our tax money, we'd go to a place and do like go to like a hotel. I would go like for like 2 days or something. And then we'd go swimming. Where we don't have any pools, you know. We don't have a pool. We don't have a swimming pool. And so we'd go to a hotel that used to have. What they actually during the last time we went there was that same year of the 2020 was the last time we went there, and I was making like cool creatures and stuff like that. I made like a hammerhead shark, which I have on the shelf somewhere. And what happens is that the hammerhead shark represents the last time we went to that place, and I never sell it because that's one of those creatures. I mean, I have a hammerhead shark here. This is a hammerhead shark I made, you know, the other day, and it's like pretty much he's all like shiny and stuff with the blue paint. He's got his teeth and stuff like that. But this is a hammerhead shark. But the hammerhead shark, the first time I made a hammerhead shark, we went to this I was making art, and I made one at the at the hotel, and I never knew that was gonna be the last time we'd go to that hotel, and it was they turned it into a homeless shelter here in New York, and so it's one of those things where it's no longer a place you can go to. It's at first it was they turned into a shelter, then they turned into a shelter. I didn't know they just turned it into a homeless shelter, and so a lot of people are there now, and there's no more pool there anymore. They drained the pool, and the pool is like, I guess, not storage or something. But it was sad because that meant so much to us. Those are our family thing. We'd go there, and we do that. So now we have to kind of, when we go to like a hotel, we save up all of our points and stuff, and we try and find a place with a pool, that we can actually go swimming in, and that's always fun. But it's sad because it's like the thing that we love is gone, and like everything else in life, the thing that you like tends to be gone. So you obviously have to keep making and finding new things that you love it. A lot of the reason why I make some of this artwork, by the way, is because I used to like a lot of creatures and stuff like that as pets, and they would kept on like dying because I didn't know how to take care of them right. And then I learned how to take care of them right, but what happened was, they kept on dying anyway. And that was, I told you a little story about my whole veterinarian life and how you try your best to save an animal, and it was sad. But for the most part, though, when you make these creatures, they don't die. You have them for like a long time. I started making like some stuff. I remember I made a gremlin. It just like the more you bent the wires, the more like it became fragile. But this is more like an organic material. This masking tape is like an organic material. It's paper, but it also has adhesive in it. And the way it works is like the adhesive gives life to the paper, and the paper gives protection to the adhesive. And so it's like a kind of thing where they kind of like a team that work together. And also you have layers underneath. So when you have like layers of masking tape, right? It's like what happens is like the layers, some layers never reach the surface, right? And so because of that, it has a perpetual aspect of it. It stays like young. It's like you're like, I mean, how our skin, we have new skin under our old skin. So our old skin stays elastic, or it dries up, but our new skin is coming up. It's like it stays elastic is what I want to say. So it's kind of like that with regarding our when you're making a creature. It's like it has like layers of skin that keeps. It's just the way it works. I never would have thought this through, that it would actually be such a cool thing that actually could do this just by playing with masking tape. I saw that Marcos makes, he was making dinosaurs, and I never thought the versatility or the robustness of what you can do with masking tape if you just kept twisting, And then there's also layers to it, and then once you start figuring out the kind of the one that you want, you start learning about the different qualities of tape, and what you can do with it. So yeah, so I don't mix tapes. I don't have different color tapes. I just have one type. I don't use blue tape. There's a friend of mine who does tape art too, but they swear by the green and the blue tape, and they do that, and I just don't like blue tape. Like painter's tape and stuff like that. That's not my thing at all. I just painter's tape at all. I don't, because of like I did a painting once, a mural, and I took the wall with it. So, just keep that in mind. So it's kind of my fault. I didn't know that, by unsuspectingly, that if you didn't remove it after 3 days, it does say it on the package, but I mean, just who reads the package, right? But for the most part, though, what happened was when I did that, I just learned that you shouldn't really keep blue tape on the wall more than 2-3 days, because it'll take the wall with you. So yeah, so this is what happens is like I'm just keep working on my camera. My battery's at 20%. Okay, there's a 20%. I teach classes, by the way. If you ever want to follow my membership, I have a membership part that you can actually join. That'll help us out a lot. That'll help me make more sculptures and stuff. And I've been making a lot of sculptures lately, making a lot of content. But for the most part, it's just like one of those things where, when you make a piece of art and you start liking it, you really start liking it. That's when you've accomplished the task. You've gotten to the part where it's good. You got to the part where it's really good. And so with that, it's like you just have to kind of do what you can, but just know that when you start liking your art, or your art starts taking on a personality of its own, like he's so far from like complete, but just the sadness of his eyes and the fact that he's such a cool looking monster, I like it. I like it a lot, I just really do. So yeah, just thought I'm gonna keep working on that. See if I could just. Yeah. Okay, he's a turtle. He's a giant turtle. Myrtle turtle. Turtle Myrtle. So, how you guys doing? Guys doing okay? Everybody doing good? Yeah, I'm doing pretty good. I'm doing pretty good. Just been a real busy day. It's gonna be a really busy day tomorrow, Lord willing, and we'll see how that turns out. You know, for the most part, it's one of those things where you're never quite sure what's gonna happen tomorrow, so you have to thank God for it and say, God, thank you for this day. You know, make sure you say that. Make sure you take a minute and say thank you, God. You know, for everything you do. As long as you're not doing bad stuff. You know, if you're doing bad stuff, then you shouldn't say thank God. You should say thank God when you're doing good stuff. You know, and thank God when things work out good and things work out, you know, not sure how it's gonna work out. But yeah, for the most part, you have people that are in this world, and they're not really there for your benefit, unfortunately. They're there to kind of hurt you. But don't be those people. Don't be that kind of person, because they actually get what's coming to them, and they have all kind of sicknesses and diseases and stuff, and they have all kind of trouble and problems. You know, that if they just were kind people, those things would probably still happen, but it wouldn't happen that way. You'd have, like, you know, more resolve, or it would be about starting to happen, and the kindness they have in their heart, and, you know, kindness, love. Think about being nice, not nice, but kindness. Kindness is the real word. Kindness is like something where you really don't have to do it, but you do it because you know you're a kind person, full of kindness and goodness in your heart. Thank you for your thumbs up, by the way. Appreciate that. You know, thank you for the likes and the thumbs up in the, you know, for liking the art. Here's his tongue. Yeah, he's got teeth. So let's see. William Defoe was one of the creatures in John Carter, and so he's like one of the Thrax, and the 6-armed Thrax. I made a creature, and she's like a Thrax. What's her name? Saffron. Saffron is like has 4 arms, but yeah. So, you know, I never got into the whole John Carter thing until recently. It was just kind of like once I saw the movie, I was like, this movie is pretty cool. And I was looking into the history of it, and it's like, whoa, it's kind of history is kind of like Tarzan, just Edgar Rice Burroughs. Ooh, man, he was. How do you draw these things? You know what I'm saying? How do you draw things like that? I don't know. It just, I guess his artists, they draw kind of like, you know, very sexy things, you know, and sexy ladies and stuff, and Deja Thoris. Which I have a Deja Thoris around here somewhere. She's the orange head one. I put it on my Instagram, Deja Thoris. So she's the Princess of Mars. She's the Princess of Mars, Deja Thoris, and John Carter and the Princess of Mars. So yes, that's something there. I know. So then he also did Tarzan. He was the guy who did Tarzan, Edgar Rice Burroughs, and then he also did, I guess, not Zorro. He didn't do Zorro, did he? I don't think he did Zorro. I don't remember, but I gotta look that up. I think Zorro was somebody else. But yeah, for the most part, though, it was like I guess here we got. Let me give you some more muscle on your arm because your arm is really kind of pickly. You do some workout. You need to work out. Work it out. Work out. Work out. Work out. That's what you gotta do. You gotta work it, right? Gotta work it. Gotta work it. Definitely gotta work it. Ah, man, I see him. All right, he needs more work. He needs more help. And so, what I'm gonna do, I might have to save some of this tape to work on my other projects. I might have to end this chat because I'm getting to the point where I have to kind of like, you know, just start working on my other projects. I have many to do. I have to finish up this Hello Kitty. So this Hello Kitty needs some work, and I have to just take a break. And it's been a long day. I've been thinking about what to talk about, and it's been so good. So, all right. So this is what we have so far. I'll show you all the progress we've done. Progress so far was that we've added fingers to Gamera. Gamera has now fingers. It also has toes. Gamera has fingers and toes. It has 5 toes. I'm going to flesh out his toes and make his toes more robust. I'm also going to give him more muscles on his leg and muscles on his arms. I'm also going to give muscles on the back of his neck, so his neck itself can hold up more weight. But his neck is pretty strong, as you can see, right? But what I'm going to do, I'm going to go finish him up. He's going to be like, probably take him on a couple of trips and have Gamera do some of the orders, okay? That'd be kind of cool. But for the most part, though, let's see how that works out. Again, ladies and gentlemen, if you haven't liked and subscribed to my channel, I wish you would. That'd be great. I'm going to do a special for when I get to 3,100 subscribers, and then I'm hoping to get to 100,000 subscribers, and just trying to figure out the best way to do that, and just you know, but all I could do is appeal to you to please subscribe and like my channel. That helps out my family, helps me out as well. Not to mention, you can look at my descriptions. I have a lot of things in there as well. So right now I've done 52 minutes, and we talked about Trump, and we talked about his situation, talked about what's going to happen. We talked about taxes, talked about different movies. We talked about even Gamera. And not so much about Gamera, but just kind of as I'm making Gamera, I'm talking about him. And yes, we're coming to the point of that where I just want to say again, thank you. for watching, and I wish you all the best. Please continue to support support us in our art and work, and I wish you all the best. God bless you, and the media's out to get you, but God bless you, and thank you so much for your love and your support. All right, thank you so much. Peace.